I think you caught the tail end of the conversation with Bridget where she was talking about private sector credit extension, not enough investment by businesses in South Africa. So while it is picking up on a consumer side, companies not really investing, but Pallinghurst is investing at this stage, it looks like.
We are. We are definitely in business, and again, we're slightly different from the point of view. We have taken a very conservative approach, and we only invest equity. We do not rely on banks, and all the money has been raised, and in a way, in market under pressures, a lot of good opportunities show themselves.
Yeah, because you raised quite a lot of money last year, particularly from offshore investment companies. So we had money coming from a Singapore Temasek, I think, in Singapore.
Correct.
We also had from one of the Dutch pension funds also investing. And how's that money been appropriated throughout the year?
Well, last year, I think Pallinghurst Investor Consortium was the single largest investor into South Africa. So we spent more than $500 million. And this year we have not slowed down. So I guess you should see that as a vote of confidence in the South African economy. Previously you talked about the rand being strong and within a band for quite a while, and I think we see the same. The fundamentals in our sector are very healthy.
You obviously have confidence in the South African economy, but in the global economy as well for some of the investments you are making. Last week we were carrying the news story just about the Sedibelo West project north of the Pilanesberg, where you're investing in platinum mines. You're investing in consolidation of a number of contiguous properties over there. You've also been investing in other properties as well in South Africa. We do have global uncertainty at this stage. Are you looking past that? Do you think we're going to see strong demand for platinum group metals, for steel feeds going into the future?
I think in a way the world is not in a dissimilar situation than it was just after the Second World War. We will see growth. Right now we see the growth coming out of Asia. You see China, you see India, you see Brazil as well. And with that growth comes metal. You cannot have any growth without steel. And as you know, 20% of all consumer products contained are being produced by using PGM. So yeah, we feel we are in a good sector.
Where are your steel feeds going to? Are you looking at the Chinese market, the Indian market here for the growth for these steel feeds going forward?
Well, we have our manganese here in South Africa. So in a way we are strategically nicely placed for both Europe and Asia. Our iron ore is based in Australia, so that is definitely linked into the Asian tiger.
And the sorts of investments you made in growth there, because looking at the numbers, it looks like it was the steel feeds business that drove your profit growth over the past year.
No, that's very true. I mean, 2010 was the steel year for us. This year will hopefully be the platinum year. So we are diversified. We've got 4 distinct platforms, and the benefit is that the way we have rolled them out is that we should see continuous kind of developments on all 4 legs.
But why will 2011 be the platinum year? Are you going to start to see enough platinum coming out of the ground that you can actually benefit from that demand as we go forward? And perhaps just tell us about the movements that we saw last week. I think it's called the African Queen consolidation.
That's right. I think you see the fundamentals for demand being strong at PGM, even in the current economic environment. We want to have cleaner air, we want to have bigger catalysts on all the cars, and you see that coming into China and India as well. So I'm very comfortable on the demand side. The supply side remains under enormous pressure. As you know, all PGMs is basically being generated or created and taken out of the ground here in South Africa, and all of the players have faced enormous problems in getting it out, and the things that you've heard coming out of Zimbabwe this morning is also not helping the supply side. So yes, we are building up. We have doubled the production from 2009 to 2010, and we are set to double again this year. So yeah, year of platinum.
And tell us about the consolidation, the African Queen consolidation. What sort of asset does that give you going forward?
Well, I guess what we saw was that we saw a number of properties next to each other in just north of the Pilanesberg, basically controlled by 4 different companies. Our insight was together with our partners, the Baratla, to move the farm fences away and in a way mine it the way that God's mining engineer intended it to be mined, which is as one ore body complex. And we intend in rolling that out together with our partners, the Baratla, in a way where we will develop that as one complex.
And obviously big cost savings and just with all of the things that go along with those. How about your other 2 platforms, Gemfields and Fabergé, both aimed really at the higher end of the markets, and I'm sure lots of those customers must be Japanese as well. I know other luxury goods groups did come under pressure following the earthquake in Japan. Are you seeing that high-end demand coming through for your Fabergé and your Gemfields platforms?
Well, Gemfields has been a huge success story last year and continues to be it this year. Share price more than quadrupled. And we see the price for the underlying stones are more than doubled in the last 12 months. So yes, there is a global crisis, but I think that growth is still taking place in Asia, and demand coming out of China is keeps on surprising everyone.
And where are the main markets are you looking at the East for those markets?
Well, for gemstones, definitely the Indian market remains very strong, but Europe starts coming back in again. And for us to be able to supply those markets consistently has really been the way of unlocking them. Fabergé is obviously the absolute top end. We have only relaunched it 2 years ago, and we have our third collection is coming out now. So entering the watch segment as well, we are very comfortable on that as well.
Prospects for 2011, Arne, are you going to be able to grow profits to the extent that you did in 2010?
You'll be disappointed otherwise.